Hi, I wrote this question down one time. It says, should we seek for experiences of God? Should we seek for God, give us experiences? I think it's really important to center in God, center for God, focus on God, not experiences. And then as you do that, and the more you do it, you're going to experience God, and you're going to have experiences of God. And you're going to get experiences of Him answered prayers and all that. But I don't think you should keep looking at experiences. I think our faith and everything should be in God, and our focus should be God Himself. And then He will give you lots of experiences and lots of prayers answered. And if you're going through a time where you're not getting experiences and all, but you're really seeking the Lord, that is cool stuff. It doesn't sound cool. You say, well, why can't I feel Him, or why can't I know Him more and all that? The fact is, He's really there, and He wants to test and strengthen your faith. Faith doesn't go by feelings. Feelings are fluctuating. Feelings are like a roller coaster. They go up and down and all. And it's like the caboose of the train. And the engine of the train should be going forward like this, and the engineer and all that, and they shouldn't be looking back here and say, what's going on back there in the caboose? You're getting your eyes off of where you're going. Or how about a runner on a race, on a track? Good runners usually are told, look straight forward and don't look back. It's holding you back or hindering you or something. And you don't want to look at experience. The minute you do that, your faith might get wobbly. You don't want to wobble. You want to trust God. You want to go after God. And then He can give you experiences. And go after Him wholeheartedly, and He will. I think the thing is, there's a kind of a balancing thing here. Now that I said all that, I think people aren't really, the church maybe, are really experiencing a whole lot of God because they're not going a whole lot after Him. And so if you're lack of experience all the time and you're not really seeing God do stuff and everything, I kind of wonder why. But then it could be that season of faith where He's testing you. And but I think you need to really seek Him earnestly and fully and everything. And then He will reveal Himself. He will talk to you. He did that through Jesus. He did that through the people of God. And if you look at the book of Acts, all the experiences of God in those days, wow. Why not nowadays? Jesus Christ is the same yesterday, today, and forever. Hebrews 13:5. It reminds me, though, I'm going to flip side again. It reminds me of a sweet story that I was told. I don't remember. This is way back, and I never forgot it. It was really a blessing to me. A girl, this is how I heard it. A girl had a dream, and she saw another girl, at the altar praying. And Jesus came up to her and got down with her and just talked to her, caressed her, hugged her, gave her comfort, peace. She was probably crying with joy. I'm adding that part, and just, felt the presence of Jesus so much. It was so wonderful. And then she saw another girl in the dream, and she was at the altar seeking God. And then Jesus did some of it. He didn't do quite as much, though. He did half of it. He came and just caressed her and held her and spoke to her, whispered in her ear, sweet nothings, not sweet nothings, sweet everythings. I love you, and just gave her all this wonderful encouragement. And then she saw another girl, a third girl, and Jesus came and looked at the girl, stood there silently, and just went on. And she came out of the dream and she said, Lord, it seems like the first one, you're really, really, you must have been very approving of her and much approval, and she must be really great and strong in you. And the last one, you must have not have been pleased at all. And He said basically, no, just the opposite. The one girl really needed all that attention, or not attention, but affection and feelings and all that. The third girl was a woman of faith. The girl was powerful in me, and she didn't need the experience, as much, because she was believing me no matter what. It reminds me of what Jesus said to Thomas, who doubted Him, whether, if I don't touch the, nail prints and see them and all that, then I'm not going to believe. He said, blessed are those who have not seen yet believe. So see, there it is. It kind of goes into that thinking again, that You don't have to see. You don't have to touch. You don't have to feel. You don't have to have the senses. You don't have to have experience. And there are times in your maturing process, first an immature process, like I remember I had what I call dry spells. Like, I don't know if I've got God. I mean, I know he's there and all that, but I had these in and out of feelings. And then God would caress me and comfort me and do all the things he did with that one girl, first dream girl. Then later in my life, you know, as I've grown and all, I'm not looking for experiences, although I want to have revelation of God, I want to walk with him. And he talks to me, but it's different. It's a different life. And it's not as dramatic. You know, the dramatic is not there. Although it is some, I don't know. But I'm not wavering at all. And I think of this often in my own life. Blessed are those who have not seen, you know, not had the experiences or whatever, yet believes. See, where you might be in this mature place where you're not seeing and feeling and all that experience, that stuff, you know, where you're kind of on your own. Not really. You're never going to be independent from God, but you're walking independently with God. You've got a strong walk with God. So be careful not to judge your Christian life based on experience. You might be going through some stuff of dry spells or like, where's God and all that. They did in the Psalms, you know, they wrote it in the Psalms. A lot of people, where are you, God, you know, and all that. They felt forsaken, especially because some of those Psalms are written in times of like, you know, trials, troubles, and even exile. You know, like, oh my goodness, we're going to be exiled and kicked out of the land of God. And the land of God was representative of God actually being present in the temple and all that. And they had to go to Babylon and all that, but God was still with them. So God's with you. If you're a Christian, you've had experience of Jesus. It says, if so be that you've tasted and seen that the Lord is good. You know, that's what it says in 1 Peter 2, which is a quote echoing the Bible in the Old Testament. So there should be some experience in Jesus, and you need to encounter him. If you haven't encountered him, you need to encounter him in his power, so that your faith may not be in the words of men, but in the power of God, Paul said in 1 Corinthians 2. So anyway, faith. You walk by faith, not by sight, not by experience. So walk by faith and go after him. And then the next thing I would like to say, I think at the end here, just kind of rambling here, is if you really seek God earnestly and you're going after him, then seek God in intercession and praying for others and see an experience in the world that you're praying for. And if you don't see experience, believe God that he's going to actually answer your prayers. He's going to change lives like crazy. It's wonderful to be able to see changed lives. And so, in a sense, Jesus, by the way, in a sense, didn't see Peter's life change because he died before he saw Jesus, Peter, change. And remember, he prayed for him. And Luke, it says, I pray for you, oh Simon, Simon, I prayed for you. And he says, when you're converted, strengthen the brothers. So that's interesting. Now, he prayed, then died, and didn't see his prayer answered. Of course, he rose from the dead, then he saw his prayer answered. But my point is, your prayers may not be answered when you're still living. You might be praying for nations and countries and leaders and your family and friends and acquaintances and workforce people that you're working with and all that. And your children, you know, and you need to pray in faith and believe God. But what I'm trying to say here is there's going to be many experiences that happen, even if you don't see it, if you become an intercessor and you're praying for the world. And that's really powerful. Walk by faith, though, and trust him. God bless you.